Welcome to the Boss Up Mama Community Channel. I'm Amaya Internet, and today we are talking about how to upgrade yourself, how to go from the 1.0 version of yourself to the 2.0 version. Okay, so it's the new year. You may have upgraded your phone, you may have upgraded your laptop, you may have even upgraded your wardrobe, but when was the last time that you actually upgraded yourself? See, most people go through their entire lives just accepting their limitations. They're just like, well, this is just how I am. They wish that they were more assertive. They wish that they were more confident. They wish that they could manage their time better. They wish that they could be more vocal and say what's on their mind. They have all these wishes, right? But they never take the time to contemplate on the mindset and the actions that they must take in order to go from a place of just wishing that they could be different to actually becoming different. But you, sis, you are different. That's why you clicked on this video. You're like, hey, it is ready for a change. So that's what we're going to do. So first, I need you to grab a piece of paper. This is going to be an interactive exercise. So grab a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, okay? And I'll tell you what to do with that in a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna start just like with a personal story. So when I worked in corporate America, like I used to be very shy, okay? Very shy. I felt like I had things inside of me that I wanted to say and share, but I felt really nervous. I felt like maybe nobody wanted to hear what I had to say, or maybe my thoughts or perceptions were stupid and wouldn't make any sense once I said it out loud. So I was constantly editing myself, right? And constantly going against what I felt I needed to do in the moment because I was scared, I was nervous. But as I was working and I wanted to go up for a management position, and I was like, man, okay, I want to go for a management position. So my manager at the time told me, you need to speak up more. She was like, you do everything great, but you just need to speak up more and be more vocal. I said, okay, cool. I'm going to do it. So in all the meetings, I forced myself literally to speak up more. I would be sweaty, okay? I would be sweating under my armpits. My hands are clammy. My heart is racing. But I always spoke up. I always said at least one thing in each meeting. And then as time went on, I started to just feel more confident. They knew that I was going to say something. They knew that I always had an opinion and I always had a perspective. And usually it was different from what everyone else was thinking. So I went from the 1.0 version of myself to the 2.0 version of myself in that way. And now look, I am talking on YouTube to potentially millions of people, right? So it comes with making a decision. You don't have to be stuck with how you are. A lot of times we're conditioned based on our childhood, based on how we're raised, based on the interactions that we've had in our lives. But you have the power to change. And that's what we're going to get into now. So one thing, the first step that you need to do in order to go from the 1.0 version of yourself to the 2.0 version of yourself is to get clear, okay? Get clear on your limitations, okay? Or get clear on the characteristics that you haven't acquired yet. So maybe you have a goal that you want to reach, right? Maybe you're like, hey, I want to be more fit. Okay, it's the new year. Everybody want to lose weight, right? Everybody wants to get healthier. So maybe I want to be healthy. I want to get more fit. But you know that you have a hard time staying consistent. Like consistent is not a word that describes you, right? So that would be a 1.0 version of yourself. You're like, hey, that's a limitation that I have currently, is that I'm not consistent. That's one way to look at it. Or it could be just a characteristic that you've not yet acquired. So you don't necessarily have a goal that you are feeling limited in your abilities to actually reach it, but you just have characteristics that you want to acquire. So maybe there's someone that you notice or someone's in your circle that you either admire. You admire them because they're vocal. You admire them because they speak up no matter what. You admire them. Or another way is that maybe you're jealous. That's another sign that that's a sign that you want to be different, because a lot of times we look at jealousy it's like a bad thing. It's like, oh my gosh, they're jealous. Like they're a bad person. But usually when you're jealous of someone, it shows that you're like, hey, I could probably do that too, but you don't believe in yourself enough to actually do it. So that's another way to identify characteristics or traits or things that you just want to get better at. Whether so first is a limitation, right? Or it's a characteristic that you may admire in someone else, or a characteristic that you may be jealous of. Okay, so with that in mind, I want you to grab a piece of paper. Give me a second. Okay, so you're going to grab a piece of paper, and on one side, you're going to have 1.0. So you're going to draw a line down the middle. On one side, you're going to have 1.0, and you're going to put limits. And then on the opposite side, you're going to put 2.0. Okay, and you can put like upgrade. Let me upgrade you. Okay, anyway, you can put upgraded self on that side. Okay, so I want you to take a moment to really think about what are your limitations. So let me give you another example. So once again, say it's weight loss. You have a goal and you want to lose weight, but you're not consistent. So your limitation would be inconsistent, right? Okay, or maybe you have a characteristic that you haven't acquired yet that you either admire in someone else or you're kind of jealous about, right? Think about that. Maybe if the person is more vocal, they have no problem saying what's on their mind, right? So maybe your limitation is not being confident in your perspectives, right? Not being confident in speaking up, right? So that is your limitation. So take a moment and really get clear on that. So you could pause the video, because I'm telling you, this is not going to work unless you actually do the work. It's not going to help you just watching me talking about it, right? You have to put in the work. Okay, so I'm off of pause now, so now we can get back to it. So I'm going to share some examples of things that people could actually write on this. But it could be infinite, right? But say, for example, we're going to stick to the goal of someone wanting to lose weight. So their limits are that they're inconsistent. Another limit is that they spend too much time scrolling on social media. So hours are just going by. And they just scrolling, right? So they're not able to manage their time. They spend a lot of time on time wasters, things that aren't building them up, things that aren't really adding value to their life. Literally, it's just wasting time. And maybe this person has a lack of boundaries. So they always want to please other people. They know that they want to spend time to working out and going to the gym, right? But whenever they set something like on their calendar, that friend call, be like, hey girl, you want to go to brunch? When they know they need to be working out, right? But they're like, okay, cool. I don't want my friend to get mad, so I'm going to go to brunch with her. So I'm going to put off my workout. And then they end up not working out, right? So those are limitations. Boom. Step number 2. Step number 2 is to design the 2.0 version of yourself. Okay, so really think about how the 2.0 version of yourself looks. And the easy way to do that is to look at your limitations and then write the opposite of that. Okay, so once again, you'll pause the video, but let me just share an example. So for our imaginary friend here who is inconsistent, her 2.0 version self is consistent. Right? So that's the opposite. The 1.0 version spends too much time on social media or other time wasters. The 2.0 version manages her time well, and she has good time management skills, right? She has a time where she gets on social media. She has a time where she does other things that add value to her life. And then the last one is lack of boundaries or people pleaser. The 2.0 version of this sister is she sets and communicates strong boundaries. So her girlfriend may call and be like, hey girl, let's do brunch. And she's like, oh, well, actually I've already committed to working out, but maybe we can go after, or maybe we can go another day, right? So she has set clear boundaries. So pause the video and then write the opposite of what your limitations are, so you can have a clear picture of what your 2.0 version self looks like. Okay, so we're back. You've written down what the 2.0 version of yourself looks like. Now, how does that feel to even just get that clarity, right? To just get that clarity is important. Who do you want to be? How do you want to show up? We are not living this life on autopilot. We are being intentional about our lives, about who we are, about how we represent ourselves, right? Because the thing is, when you're not intentional, you fall into bad habits. You fall into characteristics or traits like that don't serve you, right? So we have to stay intentional. Okay, so you've gotten clear on your limitations. You wrote that on the 1.0 version side, right? You designed your 2.0 self. You wrote that down on this side, right? Okay, so now we are about to talk about goals. Okay, so now you have this in front of you. You have what the 2.0 version of you looks like. And now you got to start doing the work so you can actually become that person. So I'm going to go off of my example. So say, for example, the 2.0 version of yourself, you want to be more consistent. So what is a goal that you could set, right, to support you with that? One way people approach goal setting is like, okay, I'm going to be consistent with everything. Everything I'm going to do consistently every single day, 7 days a week. Like, they set these goals that's not realistic, pretty much, okay? Because if you've never been consistent with much, right, it's going to be hard to jump and then automatically, be consistent. So say if you're wanting to lose weight, you're not going to put on your calendar that you're going to work out 5 days a week and stay consistent if you haven't even really kept the commitment to do 2 days a week, right? So think about it. Let's start small. So I'm going to go back to the example. So say, for example, it's the sister who wants to lose weight. A goal for her may look like once a week or twice a week, I will commit to working out for at least 10 minutes. That's starting small. Okay, that is starting small. So 1 to 2 times. It's not every single day, right? It's not even for a long duration of time. It's not like, hey, I'm going to work out for an hour each day, Monday through Friday. I'm going to be consistent. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're going to do it for about a week or 2, and then you're going to be like, the hell with it, right? So you have to keep it small, right? So you can build your way up. And then when you set small goals, it gives you the momentum you need to keep going. So you're like, okay, cool. 1 to 2 times a week for at least 10 minutes on Monday and Friday, I will work out. So when she does that, when she accomplishes that goal, she's like, oh, that felt good. Like, I am being consistent. Then the next week she does the same thing, right? And maybe instead of just 10 minutes, maybe she's like, hey, I'll do 15 minutes. Like, what's 5 extra minutes, right? And then as time progresses, she gets better and she keeps adding on to it. But you have to have the small wins. If you don't make your goals small enough that you can actually do them, right, from the space of where you are, but also keep them challenging, right, but small enough. If you set them too big, it becomes overwhelming and you don't stick to it, right? So think about it. Look at your 2.0 side, okay, and just pick one. We don't have to start with all of them, because think about it. It didn't take you a day or a week to become who you are. It took time. It took years and years of conditioning. It took years and years of doing the same type of behaviors over and over again to create these characteristics, these traits that you currently exhibit, right? So you have to be patient with yourself. This is not about an overnight change. Yes, you make the decision to be different. That only takes a moment. But then you have to do the work, and it's about slow, incremental change that is sustainable. Right? Okay, so come up with one goal. You can pause the video now, but I encourage you to really think about just one small goal that you can complete, that you can do, that you feel like it's challenging enough, but it's also doable, also realistic, right? That you can do over the next 7 days that will support you with really stepping in to that 2.0 version of yourself. I'll wait. And we are back. Okay, so we talked about getting clear on your limitations or the characteristics that you have not yet acquired, right? But you want them. So either you're admiring somebody who has them, or you're feeling a little salty because they got them, right? You got clear on that. You designed your 2.0 self, and then you have set a small goal. So one goal, one of your 2.0 characteristics, you've set one small goal around that, right? That you are going to do over the next 7 days, something that you can do within the next 7 days, right? So the last part of this is probably the most important, okay? It's to expect challenges. That's just life. Whenever you are looking to do something different, life is going to be lifing, and life is going to test you. To be like, oh, okay, you really about that life? Okay, cool. Let me throw this at you, right? That's the way the universe works. So expect challenges. Expect challenges, but stay committed anyway. So maybe you did, you set a goal and it's realistic, it's challenging enough, but it's doable, right? That you're like, okay, it's not going to be so difficult for me to do this. This feels really doable, right? But then still maybe something pops up. Something happens that maybe makes it harder for you to do that 10 minutes or to really take action on that goal that you set for yourself, right? That's cool. Don't give up. Keep going. Stay committed. So for example, our sister who wants to lose weight, who wants to get healthier, right? Maybe she set her days for Monday and Wednesday to do those 10-minute workouts. But then her daughter got sick the whole week. And she just couldn't figure out the time between trying to work and, having her baby. Like she just, she exhausted. She ain't getting no sleep. So she like, I can't even fit in 10 minutes. She's like, you know what? Forget it. I don't even know why I tried to do this anyway. No, we are not doing those self-defeating limits and beliefs in 2024. We are not. It's like, boom, this happened. It's about having self-compassion because you are a human being. Things will come up. Hey, okay, I wasn't able to stay committed to this goal this week because this happened. But next week, I'm on it. Right? Next week, I'm on it. Or you can even think about, how can I pivot? So for example, you can't get that workout in, right? You can't show consistency in that area and get your workout in. But maybe, you can hold your baby and, prep a salad. You're like, hey, maybe I'm not working out, right? But I am doing something to contribute to my health. So I'm going to eat more vegetables today. I'm going to make sure at least the next 2 days, Monday and Friday, those 2 days, I'm going to make sure I have 3 servings of vegetables, or at least 2 servings, right? So you can even tweak it. There's always room, right? There's many ways to get to the goal. So be compassionate with yourself. Be flexible when you have to, but also stay committed to your goals. And there you have it, honey. You are on your way to stepping into the 2.0 version of yourself. Show up, stay committed. You got this. If this is a video that has added any value to you, that you like and you enjoyed it, subscribe and share it with another sister, because it ain't no fun elevating by ourselves. We got to boss up together. All right, y'all. Peace.